Rebecca, Kevin, Mercedes, Alex, Tyler, Mia, Brian, and all of us are... Learnalots!
From time to time, we meet with Ruth because she can help answer all our questions. She also has a supercharged super screen that can help open lots of doors for us.
Learnalots, this year, Bermuda's Parliament will be celebrating a very, very special anniversary. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I think if we go to Parliament, we pay a visit to Parliament and talk to some of the parliamentarians, or maybe to Mr. James Smith, we will find out just which anniversary it is. It's going to be a very interesting visit. Let's put some information into the
Supercharged super screen
and whiz our way to Parliament. Let's watch.
Hello, Learnalots. I know you have a lot of questions about Parliament, so why don't you come down to the Speaker's chambers so that we can find some answers for you.
Have you ever wondered who decides how our daily lives are organized? Things like roads and transport, the environment, law and order, hospitals, and our education. All these things are carefully planned out in Parliament. Bermuda's Parliament first met at St. Peter's Church, St. George's, on 1st of August in 1620. From 1622 to 1855, Bermuda's Parliament met at the State House in St. George's. Bermuda is the oldest self-governing British colony and is organized in the same way that the British government is. This is called the Westminster system. It is made up of a governor who represents the Queen, the Senate, the House of Assembly, and a cabinet, which is led by the Premier and represents the political party in power. In 1826, the Sessions House in Hamilton became the place for Parliament to discuss issues, and is still in use today. Everyone's lives are affected, whether or not you are aware of it, by decisions that are made by the government. You may know these familiar buildings, but do you know what goes on inside? We went along to find out.
It's a really good purpose for us to be here at this particular time, to be looking at this particular building. This building houses what?
Parliament.
All right, the House of Assembly. There's something else in here as well. Do you know?
Court.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, there's a special reason, as I said, why we should be here at this particular time looking at Parliament. You know why?
It's going to be August 1st.
August 1st, and what happened on August 1st?
In August 1st, there was the first meeting of the House of Parliament in St. Peter's Church.
What year?
1620.
What year is this, then? If the first meeting of Parliament was the 1st of August, 1620, this year will be what? How many years?
375th.
That's right. We're going to celebrate the 375th anniversary this year, and a whole lot of wonderful activities are going to be going on.
What is inside this building?
It's a good question. Maybe we should go in and have a look, and if we're lucky, we'll find the clerk of the house, Mr. James Smith, and perhaps he'll explain a lot of things to us. Let's go this way and take a look, see if we can find him.
Our first stop was the Speaker's chamber.
Hello, young man. How are you? What's your name?
Brian.
Hi, Brian. I'm the Speaker. Glad to see you. Welcome to the Speaker's chambers. Hello. How are you?
I'm glad, thank you.
And your name was?
Mia.
Hi, Mia. How are you?
Glad
Glad to see you out today. You? This young man. Hi.
Tyler.
Hi, Tyler. How are you keeping?
Fine.
Good. Welcome to the Speaker's Chambers. Glad to have you. And this young lady?
Asante.
Hello, Miss Sandy. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Very glad to have you here to join us today. You're sitting at the Speaker's table here. How do you feel about that? Powerful? That's the word. You got it right. You got to work to achieve that, you see. It's a matter of paying attention in school and getting well equipped to go out and tackle this big world we have.
What is the role of the Speaker?
Well, that's a very good question, Brian. The role of the Speaker, of course, is he's in charge of the parliamentary process here to ensure that the legislature that is tabled in the House by the government and, of course, the opposition it comes to a conclusion. So that is basically, and to maintain the level of decorum in the House in terms of debate, and also, of course, to maintain order. To have a debate without order is disorder, and we can't have that.
Mr. Speaker, I noticed that gavel on your desk. What is it for?
Okay, thank you, Tyler, for that question. The gavel is the authority of the Speaker in some respects, in that we use it to start the House. When the gavel is rapped at the beginning of the session, it is also rapped at the conclusion. So it says gavel to gavel, so the debate goes from gavel to gavel. It is also used as an instrument to assist the Speaker in maintaining order. If the members are contravening a rule of the House, and or they are disorderly in their conduct, the Speaker will get the attention just by, then they know that the Speaker's asking for order, and he may follow that by saying, order, order, and they look up and then they realize that they should behave themselves in the manner in which they are accountable.
Mr. Speaker, is the gavel an important artifact of Bermuda history?
Well, thank you very much for that question, and I'm going to ask the clerk to give you the history of this particular gavel, because he knows a lot about it. Mr. Smith?
Well, Brian, this gavel is a cedar gavel, and it was made from the cedar, from the tree that was outside of St. Peter's Church, where the first Parliament of Bermuda met, and that was August the 1st, 1620. And it's been around ever since then. So it's quite old, it's a relic, it's antique, very valuable, very much historical value attached to it. So we haven't lost it yet, and let's hope we can keep possession of it.
I noticed that some of the people in the pictures were wearing wigs. Why are they wearing them?
The Speaker's wig forms part of the Speaker's costume or his dress. It's part of his garments and stuff, and it's been something that is considered a traditional part of the costume, the wig. It was first worn in this particular Parliament in 1933 by Sir Reginald Conyers, who was one of our former speakers. And since that time, we've been using the wig. And I do believe it graces the Speaker in some respects, and it gives him a feeling of authority when he's being addressed. It's a reverent position, one that garners great respect from the members, and it's good. I think the Speaker just does the finishing touches with the wig, and it's good for that particular position.
Brian, look at this. I noticed I have a plaque on my chair. You want to read it?
The Right Honorable Winston S. Churchill, MP, occupied this chair on the occasion of his addressing the Legislature of Bermuda, 15th January 1942. At the conclusion of the proceedings,
He carved with his own penknife on the back rail of the seat the letter V.
Mr. Clark, what does the V on the chair stand for?
Miss Santhi, the letter V stands for victory, and it was the trademark which Winston Churchill used throughout the Second World War. That's a sign there, and it was used during the period when Germany had overrun Europe, and England was battling against Germany, against heavy odds. And Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister of Great Britain at that time, used that V signal or sign to It was his traditional signal or sign, which he used on many occasions because he felt that eventually Great Britain would win out and Germany would be defeated.
Mr. Speaker, where do all the members of Parliament meet?
The members of Parliament meet next door, and I think we could adjourn to that chamber right now so that you could see just what goes on there. So maybe proceed together. There we are. Can you open that one? Pretty heavy door, isn't it? Let's go, everybody.
Oh, hi, kids. It's me, Professor Irvin Mervin Naughty. Ah! Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, today, kids, I got this great experiment to show you. What we got here is you're gonna make your own fountain, okay? First of all, get like, an ordinary, jar from your kitchen or whatever. Make sure it's empty, because I don't want your parents getting angry or anything. And, poach 2 holes in it, get 2 straws, set it up like this, okay? One halfway down, one with just a tip down, okay? Then, I want you to get another jar, with the top off, right? Oh yeah, also, one more thing. Make sure there's plasticine so the thing is airtight. There's got to be a nice little bit of plasticine, holding these straws, and it's got to be airtight. I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, now look. You fill this up with water right here, okay? It's nice to have colored water, for the effect. Okay? And you, fill this up with water, like this. Right? Okay. Now, let's watch what happens. We're going to make our own fountain. Okay, kids? Another exciting experiment for me, Professor Irvin Mervin Naughty. I'll see you next time on Learnalots.
You may not have seen the inside of the chamber before, as cameras are not allowed to film while Parliament is meeting. The chamber is a very important place where many important people have made some very important decisions over the years. We went into the chamber with Mr. Speaker to explain some of the traditions and procedures which take place in Parliament. The first thing that caught our eye was the mace.
I'm sure you're interested in the mace. It is the authority of the House of Parliament, and it is the Speaker's authority as well. And when the Speaker's in the House, the mace must be in the House. And when the mace is not here, the House is not in session. So it's important that the mace be in the House when the Speaker is here. No one other than the Sergeant-at-Arms is really authorized to touch the mace. He brings it in the beginning of the session, and he removes it when we adjourn the House, whether for lunch or for the day. So it's in the custody of the security officer, which is the Sergeant-at-Arms. Any questions on that?
How come it is facing?
That's a good question. It is facing that direction because on the right-hand side of the House is where the government sits. The Premier, the Deputy Premier, all the members of the government side sit on that side. So therefore, the mace must be positioned on facing the government side. The opposition sit on this side of the House, and they're opposite positions. The Premier sits there, and the leader of the opposition sits opposite the Premier, and so forth. So whatever way the ministers sit, the opposite critics will take positions in the House.
Mr. Clark, why are there 2 sets of brackets for the mace?
Each set of brackets has a special significance. The brackets on top of the table, this here is the clerk's table,